states' rights is a pretty significant issue in law enforcement. In terms of the whole conversation of we only have so many resources, we can't investigate everything that happens in our state or town or county or whatever. And then the federal government has limited capacity to intervene in jurisdictional issues when people refuse. I showed up in Tennessee with bullet wounds that had gone uninvestigated. Tommy was very thorough in her investigation to determine if there was any record of a case being opened, and there was nothing. She needed case numbers, and some of these things don't have statutes. So if she had gotten a case number, I would not have returned to Indiana. So that flat refusal made it impossible for her to find like a mentor, some sort of patronage that could get me through some kind of limited, restricted access employment kind of situation. So Indiana has, and other states have had policies of no human involvement, so they declare certain members of their population non-human. You can become a protected animal species if you are willing to engage in criminal acts for the humans. But if you make any effort to make your own terms with the world, then you are the worst of the criminals. And they investigate you for buying broccoli. They investigate you for not buying broccoli. They investigate you for crossing the street at the crosswalk or in the middle, or not crossing. So, anything that pops into their mind, they can call it probable cause and get the most invasive warrant or investigation going that they can dream up. So, if you are molested as a child and you mention that you saw another child there, they will say that you were a child molester because you watched other children being molested. So, and you hesitated to say something to someone, which means that you must have partly agreed with it. And that's what they'll tell everyone in town in the course of their investigation. So, you run into one of your own children who's now running with gypsies, and that you don't even know exists. You don't know you have any children at that time. His age is such that you were at such a young age when that happened that you cannot possibly, in anybody's imagination, be held responsible for it. But Indiana has the youngest case of a juvenile tried as an adult in the nation. So, so this is what states' rights means. That's what that means. But while the federal government is limited in what they can do about it, the business community keeps databases of their own and considers these factors when they're talking about where they're going to do development and what are their demands. If a town says, we would like to do this in our community, would you like to invest in it? They say, well, have you started recording your 911 calls yet? And they won't always tip their hand exactly what cases they know about, but they will say, before this can proceed, we need this, and this to happen. Because of the history of the PACE, we don't believe that you're going to get these things done. We need to get this money spent in this period of time. So call us back when all this is done and we'll talk about another project, but we're moving on at this point.